if you can't decide to do something this valuable for your life, you shouldn't be in business. Please go back to working for someone else. You really should. You go work for someone else. You're not cut out for network marketing. Either that or grab some gumption and push yourself over the edge, because listen, I mean, I tease about it, but it's true. You know, your income will never far exceed your personal development and your business development. It just can't. You're never gonna see a person influence someone of higher influence when they haven't grown in themselves. I mean, if you're growing, you can lead. You don't have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm not far from perfect. But if you're caring and if you're growing, people sense that about you, because the average person is not. And that's attractive. That's gonna pull people to you. You know, a lot of people are like, how do I get people? The fastest way to get people is develop yourself, and people will sense it. And when you talk to people, you know, they sense that, you know, whatever you're saying is the tip of the iceberg. They know there's so much deeper and they want more. And what better to do in life than to become the kind of person that you know you're not perfect, but you're growing constantly, and because you're growing, you have more to give. And so I'm obsessed. You wanna get better? Life gets better. My original teacher, Jim Rohn, used to say to me, Tony, for things to get better, you gotta get better. You know, for things to change, you gotta change, right? And I can tell you, if you're gonna add more value, you can't just hope good ideas are gonna just show up out of the blue. You gotta pursue them. Great ideas are gonna change your life. Don't interrupt you. You pursue them, you use them, and they change your life. And we're gonna create an environment where people that day who are there will not forget that they're there. It'll have an impact for years to come. If you find your passion, you're gonna have this tremendous energy. It's sustainable energy. But momentum requires you always do the next thing to keep the momentum going. And the reason you get yourself in a passionate place is so that you change your life, and the only thing that changes your life is making a decision. So while you're in this passionate state, that's where you make decisions. You don't make decisions when you're like, oh, I don't know, what do you think? All right, let's decide. If you make a decision in a state without momentum, if you make a decision from a place where there's no passion, you are not gonna get momentum. It'll kill momentum. It's decide, commit, and resolve. Some of you, in the past, you've gotten momentum, you've gotten passionate, you've even made a decision, but a decision is the first step. Decision is like a war. I gotta do this or that. All right, I'm gonna make myself do this. But commitment is when you now, after you've decided, you commit to do this for the long term. Whether it's hard or easy, doesn't matter. You're doing this. It takes it from this moment and it carries it into the future even when things are difficult. And the third state is resolve. Resolve means it's done. It's like, it doesn't even if you took action, it's done inside you, so it's done out there. There's no question whatsoever. Then once you decide, the only way the commitment and the energy and the momentum continues is if you take immediate, massive what, my friends? Massive what? Write down in your notes, massive action is the cure-all. Massive action is the cure-all. If you're having a difficult time with something, your relationship isn't where you want it to be, your finances are not where you want to be, your body's not where you want to be, your business is not where you want to be, you need to take massive action. And if that doesn't work, try something else. If that doesn't work, try something else. Keep going with massive action and you will find the way, because it will give you momentum.
Responsibility to me it's about understanding and knowing that you have the power to control your destiny, that it's about living your life from a place of creation, that most people go through life doing what I call living their lives as volunteer victims. When you take responsibility for your life, it's about knowing that you have to develop yourself, that you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. You have to develop your mind, you have to develop your skills, you have to have a talent, ability that you are cultivating so that you can create value for the world with what it is you have, with your gift.
If you do what is hard, your life will be easy. But if you do what is easy. Your life will be hard. Yes. And so most people go through life avoiding the hard stuff. And the hard things in life, those are the lessons in life. That's where the growth takes place. That's where you meet a part of yourself that you don't know now. And to get through that, It takes prayer, it takes persistence, it takes perseverance, and a willingness not to give up regardless of what.
I believe that the more people discover the truth of who they are, that will free them up to use the power that they have to do more, to have more inventions, to create more cures for things that's impacting humanity, to reduce poverty in the world and homelessness, and give people a sense of power that they would not have as a result of working on themselves. When you work on yourself and you expand your vision of yourself, you are able to make a greater impact in life. I've traveled around the world and I've earned millions of dollars helping people to build businesses, to make a difference in their community. I used to be a state legislator. I passed 14 pieces of legislation when I was elected to the Ohio legislature. I've been a community activist. All of these is a result of the vision, the mindset transformation that took place within me. And so when I speak to people about personal development, I'm talking from a place of knowing, of achieving. And so personal development is important because what it does, it inspires people to live an achievement-driven life.
So let's talk about setting goals, and I also want to tie it to personal development, and you'll see how I'm going to do it as I progress here. Setting goals. We need to take a look into the future. There are 4 things to consider in terms of attitude. One is how you feel about the past. Best advice I can give you on that is treat the past as a school. Let it teach you the mistakes you've made, the things that went wrong, the things that didn't work. Don't use the past as a burden to carry, and don't use the past as a club to beat yourself to death. Past losses, past failures, past mistakes. But let the past be a school. Tough school maybe. We've all been through some tough stuff. So if you feel good about the past, draw from it for experience and let it teach you. Then next is how you feel about the future. We've got to have the future well designed. The future is called the promise. And here's what we teach in our leadership series. The promise of the future can be an awesome force for your own future. The promise of the future, designing the future. There's 2 ways to face the future. One is with apprehension, and the other is with anticipation. I promise you, in my travels around the world, most people face the future with apprehension. And here's why. They don't have it well designed. They've sort of left that up to someone else to fix. But here's the best way to face the future, with anticipation. And you can face the future with anticipation if the future is clear, if the future is well designed. And I would like to have you consider some thoughts with me that help me to really change my future by giving it some thought and some consideration. And here it is. In setting goals, it's very simple. Number 1, decide what you want. You just take a little time. You sit down and say, what do I want? What kind of skills do I want? What kind of income do I want for the future? What would I like? Where would I like to go? Places I'd like to visit. Habits I'd like to acquire. Skills I'd like to have. You just take a little time to think about what you want. Economics, friendships, people you'd like to meet, places you'd like to go. You just take some time. And then I suggest, when you've thought about what you want for the future, make a list. Just jot it all down. It's really a very simple process. And then here's number 3. Keep all the old lists. I'm telling you, this served me so well, keeping my old list of goals. I look back now 10, 20 years ago at goals I set, lists I made, and I smile now because here's what I thought was so important, 20 years ago. Now some of those things aren't even on my list. I've got a new list. I've grown, I've changed, I've matured. But I give you that advice. Decide what you want. Number 2, write it down. Number 3, keep the old lists. And then here's number 4. When you get something that's on one of these lists, check it off. Part of the fun of having a list is checking it off. And then if you can add some drama to checking it off, see, that's what really helps. I set a goal to go to Spain many, many years ago. And when I finally made my first trip to Spain, I had that journal with me that had that list in it. And while I had my journal on my lap, waiting for the wheels to touch down in Madrid, I waited until the wheels touched the runway, and I checked it off. Just adding a little drama. So, part of the fun of having a list is checking it off. Now, here's what's important about the lists and designing your future. If the future gets clear, the price gets easier. Because you got to remember, for every promise, there's a price to pay. Everybody's got to pay the price. Everybody's got to do the deal. Everybody's got to do the disciplines. Everybody has to pay. But here's what I've discovered. If the promise is clear and powerful, the price is easy to pay. The price is some classes. The price is a few books. The price is a few disciplines. The price is finding something that'll make your life better, make you grow, make you change, make you develop. So the first part of the key is to design the promise. Then, what is the price to pay? I'm telling you, the price will be easy.